Hey everyone, hope you all are well. Today I'm sharing some tips and tricks on how to achieve a look if your eyes are sensitive or watery. And the first port of call is to determine why your eyes are watering. Is it due to allergies, dryness, or infection? If it's down to allergies like hay fever, for instance, which is my issue at the minute, I'd be lost without an antihistamine, but there are also allergy eye drops that you can instill as well to prevent irritation. If it's dryness, a lot of people don't realise that eyes can water when they are very dry. If that's the case, a nice lubricating drop prior to makeup application will help. There are also gels for nighttime and mists for on the go. And if you suspect your eyes are watering or sensitive or sore and it's due to potential infection, straight to your doctor. But depending on your reason, there are a few tricks that we can do to help. You want to do as much as you can to prevent irritation. Firstly, you want to start off with clean brushes. From a hygiene perspective, you don't want to be using dirty brushes anywhere on the face with old product buildup. There's a breeding ground then for bacteria and you're at risk of developing infection. Aside from that though, dirty brushes aren't going to blend eyeshadows as well as clean ones will. And if your brush is dirty, the shadow that you're applying won't be true to colour because there's excess product from the previous use. And along with that, the shadow buildup weighs down the bristles, so the brush isn't going to perform as well as it could. Next then, you want to start with a base or primer. I do both for a couple of reasons. If you're sensitive, adding a base or primer provides a barrier between your skin and the shadows, and if your eyes are watering, the skin around the eye area can then be prone to dryness. Primers do come in hydrating formulas, so you can opt for one of those, but as well, a primer improves the lasting power of your makeup, which is important then if your eyes are prone to watering for whatever reason. The makeup that you're using then to naturally plays a part. So I started with a number 7 eyeshadow primer. This range is suitable for sensitive skin, it's hypoallergenic, and the shadows that I'm using today are from Wet n Wild. Now Wet n Wild is a brand that I love and I've worked with in the past. I adore their products, get on very well with them, and the palette that I'm using today is cruelty free, it's vegan, it's fragrance and paraben free. If your eyes are sensitive, if you can use products that are hypoallergenic, even better. We just want to try and lessen the risk of potential irritation at every single step. So not only are the products that we use important, but also how we apply them. So I pick up some shadow on my brush, I tap off the excess product so it's not going anywhere other than the eye area itself. I like to hold my brush quite far down the ferrule. If you hold the brush down towards the middle to the end of the handle, you're going to be applying less pressure to the eye area when you're working away and you'll just get a softer blend. But the further up you hold on the ferrule, the closer to the bristles, the more pressure then that you'll apply, and we don't want that. We want to work with a nice light hand, just dusting along the eye area as opposed to using hard strokes and motions that'll irritate the eyes. A nice light hand with circular windshield wiper motions and patting motions are best. When it comes to liner and the waterline, listen, it's really down to a personal preference. If you did want to wear like a bold wing liner, just make sure that you're using something that's waterproof. And if your eyes are not playing ball and are watering or sensitive, look, at the end of the day, less is more. And if you can avoid tugging along the lash line, all the better. But if you do want to wear some liner, I like to add a touch of this one by Physicians Formula. It's another fantastic brand for sensitive skin. I add a little of this and then I take a black shadow because as it's a cream product, it does dry down to a matte finish, but if I can boost the longevity in any way, I will. So I like to go in with a black eyeshadow, layer it over the top, and then the cream and powder combination just really sets it in place for the day. For the lower lash line, personally, I can't use a fluffy brush down there. I don't know if it's because it's, larger bristles and they splay out a bit more. Maybe the back and forward motion with the brush like this just irritates my eye, but I find they can water on the outer edge and I want to avoid that. So I like to use then a small bullet shaped brush down along there. I lightly tap and sweep the product all the way across the lash line. And if I do want to get a little bit closer into that lash bed and be a bit more precise with the application, I use an angled brush and that just fits snugly underneath the lashes, hugs the lash line and distributes the product really well. You could stop here because we do have definition at the lash line and just avoid the waterline entirely. But if you did want to add some colour there are steps that we can take to lessen the chance of irritation. So I just make sure that I've got a good bit of pencil to work with. This is a retractable one. I've wound it up a bit. If it's a pencil, make sure it's nicely sharpened. But then I just warm the product up on the back of my hand. It then goes on with a bit more ease. You're not running your hand back and forward on that waterline constantly. I like to frown when applying it. If you frown, you'll expose your waterline without the need for tugging at the eye with your hand. And at all steps, but especially at this stage, I like to blink more frequently when applying the liner because it stops my eyes then from filling up and watering. Or you can close your eye around the pencil. This also lessens the chance of your eyes watering, and it lines the top and bottom waterline at the same time. If you do have a bit of a leaky eye, just take a cotton bud, place the tip of it right at the tear duct, close your eye and tilt your head, and this will just ensure that the tear is soaked up by the cotton bud and it doesn't run down your face and smudge your makeup. I added lashes just for the effect of the tutorial, but when it comes to mascara, if you can use a mascara with a thin wand, all the better. It just is less cumbersome, there's less margin for error. The Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara is a good one, the L'Oreal Telescopic, but I'm using this one here from number 7 because, as I mentioned previously, it's tailored towards sensitive eyes. Lastly then, to lock that makeup in, I like to use a setting spray. This one is from It Cosmetics. Not only will it help the makeup to last all day long, it's got coconut water, aloe vera extract and hyaluronic acid in it, so it helps with the dryness and it's also nice and soothing on the skin. So I hope you picked up some tips and tricks, and I'll catch you all really soon.